it sounds to me like before the 31st of December and the minister issues his directive that the team must be disestablished. And after the 31st of December 2024, going into 25, you were also not engaged by the National Commissioner.
That is correct. The likelihood is that if the 6th of March reached an agreement and there was no follow-up meeting, that implementation plan was going to be signed off, sealed, and implemented. We wouldn't be here today. But there was a disagreement on the follow-up meeting from what I gather, which led into that proposal be thrown out. Which then I think subsequent to then, maybe the National Commission felt that it's important and to give me a statement. And then I started doing what I did. But prior to that, had the 6th of March meeting agreed and there was no follow-up meeting, perhaps we wouldn't be here today.
Sorry, General. So, when you ask General Masemola for an affidavit and he gives it to you on the 4th, is he aware that you are going to hold your media briefing on the 6th?
I told him after that I'm going to have a press briefing on the 6th, over the weekend. I didn't say it, I didn't give him the date. I said I'm going to have a press briefing over the weekend to talk about the work of the political clearance task team. Honorable Chair and members, maybe let me add, and I said earlier, well, although we are talking about some of the things that might not be in the statement, but you as SC is asking me questions about the meetings that were taking place in my absence and the posture maybe the National Commission had in handling the minister's directive. I was upset in January about the posture of the National Commission on this minister's directive. What makes me unhappy is because as a leader of the police, when you're a leader, you're a commander, it's your job to look after your members, their well-being. You provide them resources, you give them support on anything else so that they can go out there and face the bullet and be able to fight and defend and make you look good as a commander. So, but when it's time for them to be rewarded, as a good commander, you must reward them. If you promise to reward them, reward them. But if you promise to reward them and you turn around and you don't reward them, you lose respect from those members, you demoralize them. What had transpired last year was that when this team had briefed the president of the country at the protocol lounge in Durban at the airport, updating the president even about the work that they are doing in Eastern Cape, the president was complimentary of the members that they are doing a very good job. Subsequent to that, the National Commission had made some commitment that these members are going to be rewarded during the Excellence Awards that we're going to sit on the 26th of January, 2025, at the ICC in Durban. And the members went out to go and buy themselves nice clothes to look good so they can stand in front of their fellow colleagues to be rewarded, given good certificates for good performance and so forth. But on almost the eve of that Excellence Awards, because of this letter, then the minister did not want, I believe, the National Commission did not want to upset the minister, because the minister was going to be the functionary on Excellence Award.
The minister was there and the National Commission was there.
On the Excellence Award.
That's at the awards day, is it 22nd or 28th of January?
The 26th of January.
26th.
So then suddenly, the members' nomination was withdrawn. The certification of these members was cancelled. On the eve of the event, they were told, you're not going to be rewarded anything. Honorable Chair and members, you see the performance of this team. It is, I think it's annexed here on my document about the work they've done. I've presented it on my statement right at the beginning, starting from NSM 1, and I think it runs all the way up until page 77 on this annex. The work of this team, but they got this reward from the South African Police Service.
You're showing
That's zero.
zero.
They were not recognized, as if they did nothing. But the members that were led by Jairus Biya that went to investigate the massacre of Lusigisi, which happened last year, those members were rewarded, including Sibiya himself. One case. These members who did all this, they didn't get a single cent. Not a certificate, a mere paper that is signed by the National Commission was withdrawn, cancelled. So when you see me appear before the media on the 27th and express what I was expressing on the 27th of January, it is because some of the things that had happened in the organization, we demoralized these members. These members have been asking themselves questions ever since, that what did we do wrong? Whose toe did we step on that made the management to look at us like this? So these are a group of members that you're talking about, Honorable Chair and members, that we needed to protect. So I've been fighting this thing on behalf of these members to try and ask questions. What is it that these members have done wrong? Because they're doing a good job in KZN. What is it that they did wrong? So it is that questioning of things that led me into uncovering other things. And I must say, as we are sitting here, Chair, and I've said it before and I'm repeating again, the rank levels in the police that are seen that I speak about are generals. We have brigadiers in the police. But the ones that are actually doing the job are constable and sergeants. 2 sergeants have shaken this country in Gauteng. 2 sergeants that are working in the Gauteng province have shaken this country. If it was not for their guts to go deeper into the criminality of the syndicate in Gauteng, we wouldn't be here today. The resilience of those 2 juniors that brought us here, they are the ones that caused Khumalo to be part of it and assist them. That Khumalo caused me from KZN to bring the team to Gauteng to help them. We are having high-profile cases in court of the Katisos and the Mashalas and the likes. It is because of those 2 junior members that started it. So I want to repeat again. When the junior members are working and you get directives like these that comes from the executive authority, it makes the members to lose faith and lose hope, and that energy of fighting crime is taken away from them. So we have a responsibility as management to protect those juniors. If they put their lives in fire when they're dealing with criminals out there, we must also be willing to do the same as senior officers.
Now, there is a clip, and we can play it if it's requested, of you giving this interview on the awards day to the ENCA.
That's correct.
And in that clip, you express your, would it be fair to say, anger and deep disappointment about what's happening in the police, and of course that these members had not been given the awards which you say was well deserved?
Maybe anger was understatement. I was very unhappy. I'm not going to use the word that otherwise, if we're out of the house, I was going to use.
Yeah.
But I was very disappointed. I must say, very disappointed. That time there was no talks about arrest of Khumalo and the team at Crime Intelligence at all. This is in January, and the members are treated like this, and the management is allowing it to happen. And fast forward, come June, there's an arrest. So obviously in between a lot of things that are happening, we're picking up a lot of information that leads into the arrest. Then we start realizing that which was a problem at the beginning of the year is leading to this and is continuing to something else. So someone had to do something about it, because otherwise, yes, there's some very talkative experts out there who will say the police job is to not to politics. I'm not a politician. I've never signed, I've never joined a member of a political party. It's never been my dream to be a politician. Mine is a police officer. I'm a civil servant. And I'm charged with the responsibility to enforce the law.
Yes, Minister Beki Cele, he told us he's got a lot of admiration, he's got high admiration for you. He said, you're a very good cop.
Yeah, well, it's good because the
You're not a
minister,
politician.
it's good because then the general will know that if there's a law broken, even if he breaks the law, I'll arrest him as well. That is my job. I don't have a responsibility in terms of, that's why I was surprised when I saw Mr. Nkabingo with t-shirts of political parties. Because I don't wear a t-shirt of a political party. I even struggle to wear a t-shirt of a soccer club. Maybe Bafana will. I'm not that much involved. I know a lot of people within the political space, but it's not my space. And I don't dream of becoming a politician. There was an invitation on some of the members that I should join, but I'll gladly decline because that's not me. I was never like that. I'm just a South African, a civil servant. That's what I'm doing. I think people sometimes confuse a police officer that might become famous as we do and politician. You don't run a country by enforcing the law only. You run a country by looking at a variety of things, which I'm not an expert on. I know policing, nothing else. I don't write legislation, I enforce it. I might pick up things that are wrong in the legislation, but I don't draft it. The honorable members do that. So honorable chair members, what I was trying to indicate here is that in January, the letter is written by the minister. In January, the members are deprived of an opportunity to be given an award. Fast forward, in June, we have members arrested. And when you realize that you are trying everything to mitigate all what is happening, you're not winning. It becomes worse when the Gauteng team tells you, we have taken this case to court, to a prosecutor, to request a warrant of arrest against a famous criminal, and the warrant of arrest is signed by the prosecutor, and they go to a magistrate to go and sign off the warrant of arrest. Then, while the magistrate is about to sign, a call comes in from the prosecutor that says, bring back that file. I missed something there. The members go back to the prosecutor. The prosecutor takes this file. He says, no, you know what? I don't want to lose my job. I'm not signing this warrant of arrest anymore. Go to my boss and get that warrant signed. When you start hearing that, coming from the members are sitting and they're wondering, okay, what do we do now? And they go to the high office of the prosecution, they're going to complain about it. And next thing, they get paraded as criminals. They get frustrated. Then you realize no matter how much you can investigate, you can't place it in court because the people that are supposed to help you to place it in court, they don't want to be part of it because they're afraid.
So that's your evidence on interference in the criminal prosecution.
Honorable Chair members, there are a lot of things that are there. Records, voice recording, that cannot be made public because it's going to compromise serious security of the state. You will have heard at the Madlanga Commission, there are things that are going to be held in camera. I don't know if there is things that are going to be held in camera here because they are records.
But are these voice
There are records where people are talking, how they're controlling the system. This one is controlling that one, and that one is controlling this one. This one is going to handle this thing in this fashion, done by the senior people within the security cluster. So once you hear that and you realize you are fighting a losing battle, what else do you do next? Arrest, yes, but you can't prosecute.
These recordings, are they authorized?
They are authorized. Let me maybe clarify because there's this. Brand Mohote says, hey, Mkwanazi should have brought a 205. That's an expert in policing that was denied by a political party to be a member recently. But he claims to be a member in policing, that he knows that for you to get this, you must have this. The act which these members have passed says, when you take Mkwanazi's phone, you cannot download it without his authority. Ask him that, I have your phone, please open it, I want to see what is inside. I must grant you permission to do it. If I don't grant you permission, you can't download it. There's no 205 there. So if you grant me permission, then I download. So once I download, then I hear things. That is on one side. On the other side, there's intelligence. So intelligence, if they believe that they suspect the SCRNC is involved with this criminal activity, they apply to the judge to listen to your lines. And the judge grants them that. They're not going to come and tell you, now we are listening to your lines. We are now monitoring your movement. They're going to collect information. Unfortunately, that intelligence structure are not going to come to court and say, this is how we extracted the information. They're going to infiltrate and discover and give it to the investigation team. The investigation team will deal with it going forward so that it can be admissible in court. So you're going to find some of the information that perhaps might be admissible in court, some of the things might not be admissible in court. So if you are with me and I record you that you are planning to kill someone without telling you, and that recording might not be admissible in court, but it doesn't take away the fact that you said it, you're going to kill so and so. So I can go and give it to an investigation team and said, you have said with your own words. The team must then find a way of establishing whether did you really kill him, as you said, without using you saying it in court, but use your effort to get the person killed.
But
so
then you get a warrant or you get authority from a magistrate or a judge.
The one who's afraid to sign because he's afraid of the criminal.
The investigating officer goes on affidavit and you submit the affidavit to the judge or to the magistrate. It's called an ex parte application because the other party, for obvious reasons, is not invited or heard because you suspect that the person is involved in criminal activity. And then the magistrate or the judge, based on what you say on affidavit, they then authorize you to do that. So that's one way of downloading stuff from someone's cell phone. The other way that you mentioned, of course, if you come to me and you accuse me or something, you say, I heard someone said something about you, can I look at your phone? And I say, yes, of course you can look at my phone. Then that's consent, that's different. So it's two ways on which you can get that.
That's correct.
Yeah.
And we have both ways then that we have done it.
With Mkwanazi, you got both ways.
With all the syndicates that are part of this.
All right.
Yes, including Mkwanazi.
So just to come back to just getting back to the 6th. Did General Masemola know when he gave you this affidavit that you asked for on the 4th of July, or he gave it to you on the 4th of July? Did he know that that was for the purposes of your media event on the 6th of July?
No, I didn't know.
Did you ask him for permission to have the media event on the 6th of July?
I did not ask for permission, I informed him. I always do media briefing, I don't seek permission, just inform. We notify.
Was that the first time that you had a press briefing?
No, it was not.
What are the other occasions when you had a press briefing involving SAPS?
Oh, there are many press briefings I cannot recall, but there's a lot of them that I've had. I've been in the province for almost 5 years now, so I've had many press briefings in the past.
But that would have been different. That is when you normally, maybe there's a breakthrough or a big investigation or something important to tell the public and the media.
There are many things. There will be disasters, there will be police operations, and there will be events coming, sporting, political events, or whatever major events coming. There are many press briefings we are having over time. I've had many in the province.
Now, in relation to the political killings task team, we know that the only people who had given press briefings or media briefings would have been it would have been the Minister of Police on behalf of the Interministerial Committee. Isn't that the case?
That's what used to be, yes.
That used to be the case. So this was an extraordinary event.
It was an extraordinary because even that other one was not a written rule, but it was a practice which was acceptable. So what I did was not breaking any law nor any policy in the organization. Extraordinary because of the extent of the risk that we're facing.
So why would you not have informed the National Commissioner what you intended to do, what you intended to say on the 6th of July?
As I said, sir, in my period as a provincial commissioner in KZN for so many years, I've never had to tell the National Commission I'm going to have a press briefing to tell South Africans about the festive season operation launch. I never had any National Commission in permission to tell me that I should have a press briefing about talking to South Africans about a murder that had happened, multiple murder that had happened in the area and what the police are doing about it. I never had any press briefing about those things. So we'll conduct press briefing as and when we see the need to inform the citizens.
But given what you agree was an extraordinary event, that not even the National Commissioner was aware of what was going to happen at that event, and an event which I think arguably implicates him in the sense that he is the head of this organization that you say is being infiltrated, that is corrupt, and that is involved in organized crime.
Do you think if I gave him, I'm sorry to ask a question, but if I assume, had I gave him the details of what I was going to say and it's going to implicate him, the likelihood is that...
That's a rhetorical question.
The likelihood...
You're going to answer it.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. If I had told him the details, perhaps, of what I was going to say, being the head of the organization, the likelihood is that he was going to stop me from having the press briefing.
He may have, because you said earlier in your evidence, quite rightly, that you take instructions from the National Commissioner. Would it have been an unlawful instruction to tell you, sorry, General Mkwanazi, I don't think it's right. I don't think it's appropriate for you to have such a press briefing. In fact, I'm quite happy to have a meeting with you right now, given how angry you feel about these matters.
Honorable Chair and members, had I told the National Commission of the details of what I was going to give a presentation on, I do not know what was going to be the response. I assume that had they responded by saying that I should not have a press briefing, I was not going to go ahead. Of course, I was not going to have that press briefing because it's my commander who would have given me instruction. So, but I didn't tell him. I didn't give him the details of what I'm going to be presenting to the public. I just told him that I'm going to give a presentation about the political testing.
And the presentation, I suppose, to put it mildly, caused some consternation because amongst members of the public, because you were also wearing camouflage. You weren't wearing your normal, ordinary police uniform that you would wear as the provincial commissioner. Some of your colleagues, other officers, were also in camouflage and seemed to be sort of wearing a mask to disguise their faces. And one saw, I think, I know nothing about guns, but it looks like something really heavy. A gun. What was the reason for that, or is that also nothing unusual?
Well, I felt that I was going to take this posture because of the matter I was addressing and the people that are implicated into what I wanted to address. And I've said it before the commission that sometimes we don't necessarily divulge more on what we are doing as a strategy, but we felt that this is the right thing to do at the time, and it's directed specifically to those that are standing in the way of us enforcing the law, which unfortunately they are in a position of authority to stop us. So it was that battle mode that we wanted to display on the day. And I did tell the National Commission I'm going to wear camouflage on a day, and they authorized me to do that.
Did you contact the National Commissioner either on the 6th afterwards or after the 6th? Or did he contact you at all?
When you say contact in relation to what, sir?
Well, in relation to what happened on the 6th, because he wasn't aware that this was going to take place.
Yeah, well, we've been having a lot of discussions after that. I think at one stage I was called to Pretoria I cannot remember the exact dates when I was sanctioned to come to Pretoria. So shortly after that briefing.
What was his reaction or response?
Well, he was shocked, surprised of the content of what I was going to present, but he was well aware of some of the challenges that you're experiencing. So it was not a shock to him to know the extent of the problem. And the mere fact that he had me in the past talking about these things. 6 months is a long time. I started talking about this thing in January this year. When I went to the public, it was in July. So it was a long time since I've been making noise to him about these problems. And everything we are trying fails, everything we're trying fails. And we then had to tell South Africans that perhaps they must know that there is this challenge, and if we cannot overcome this challenge, they're on their own.
So could this have been a reason or the explanation why when in July, I think it was on the 12th of July, Sabia is asking for some more money, some resources for the further work, what used to be done by the PKTT and now is going to be conducted by murder and robbery. So he makes a motivation, and this is now on the basis that PKTT is disbanded or disestablished. And we know now that the National Commissioner turns down that request. Were you aware of that?
The National Commission brought it to my attention because I was not informed about that. I must say, I think it was on the 8th of July, just after my press briefing. It was a team from Jarasbia's office that made a proposal via his office to the National Commissioner to give them budget so they can travel from Pretoria and come with these 121 dockers to KZN to investigate them. And the National Commission declined that because there was already a political killings task team in KZN that those dockers should have been kept with the political task team in the first place. So he did not see why were they taken to Pretoria first place and why then there's a request for an extra budget to send people from Pretoria to KZN to investigate, to arrest someone in KZN to do that.
Were you aware that General Sabia would be suspended, or I think initially there was a stay-at-home order, which was unsuccessfully challenged in the High Court, but subsequently he was suspended by the National Commissioner?
Yeah, well, I only became aware when the National Commissioner came to KZN. I think there was a march in KZN after my press briefing at Hoy Park. That's when he made an announcement of the leave of absence. After that, he came to my office because he had to visit KZN. I asked him about this leave of absence. What's this? So we had a brief discussion because I traveled back with him on the day. I flew back to Pretoria with him on the day. I say I flew back with him on the same day.
What's Sabia?
No, the National Commission.
With the National Commission, yeah. Sorry.
So subsequent to that, any disciplinary administrative issues I was not part of, and I'm not expected to be part of because Sabia did not report to me, was not accounting to me. So it's between him and the National Commissioner. I cannot comment on it.
Nothing. Sure, I would do honestly.